Hello and welcome to F124. Today is the third episode of our Ricciardo career. Today I will show a bit more of R&D progress, as this one is actually a big one. Before we head into the next weekend at Australia, which is our home race, you can see all of this in the timeline is upgrades, and a lot of them coming in. And I still have 400 points. I'm gonna use that on the cable assembly. Hoping to get that in as well, getting some more weekly resources, but I can't use that, so just skipping ahead again. Getting the cylinder head and secondary wings flaps upgrade as well. But yeah, we can see that later, but now let's just get into the race weekend. As we can see here, the R&D graph for the season, and we can see that VCARB has raised a significant amount since last time out. As we can see here for the quick practices, 300 points, but just getting into qualifying now. Starting our first lap in Q1 here, then decided to go out early to get another lap in later. Of course, this should be pretty straightforward, and we should be able to get through to Q2. And when we get there, should be able to get through to Q3, which we really want to do, as we are at the Australian Grand Prix, which is of course Daniel Ricciardo's home race, and there's a lot of Australian fans down here wanting to see us perform well. So let's see what this lap's going to be. Heading now to the end of the lap, what is it gonna be? It's gonna be 17.4, which is at the time fastest lap, but Norris ruins it immediately. So yeah, just going on for the next qualifying. I think this should be good enough, as we can see the result screen here. So yeah, ourselves in P6 and Sonoda in P11, so we're both through, which is nice. We can see here Haas's and both Kick Sauber are out, so it seems like they're the worst teams. And along with the Williams, but that was only Sargent, and Albon seems like a pretty good driver to consistently get through to Q2. As we immediately join Q2, and we can see getting blocked by Norris on our first lap. It's really not optimal, but we're just gonna go through with the lap. And yeah, I think that is actually the only important part of the lap, so let's just skip forward. Just going through the final few corners now, and we can see Charles Leclerc just set the fastest lap, 17.2, but it's probably not there we're gonna be. Let's see, 17.8. Not really too good, but of course have to remember that Norris blocked us in the start, so we have a lot of time there. Can see 26.6 for Norris, and we're gonna do a 27.6, so a second lost in the first sector to Norris. Let's just go to another lap now to see how we can improve this. Starting our second lap in Q2 now then, and let's see how much time we are gonna gain in this first sector. Cutting aggressively, and on the exit it's gonna be 8.5 tenths. Going down the straight it's probably gonna be 9. Yes, so we lost a lot of time there, and these 9 tenths should be enough alone to get us through to Q3. But let's see how much further we can drag this. Can we get further up? Of course, it doesn't really matter that much. If you're through, but could be nice to kind of send a message by getting high up on the grid. Now on the exit of the last corner, and let's see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be, as you can see on the steering wheel, actually it's gonna be the P2, which is absolutely insane. I even lost some time, you could see, before I was a second up, only 8.5 in the end. But let's get past this podium pass thing. P2 and Sonoda as well. P5, only 800ths behind me. So the VCARB seeming really good at this track for some reason. But yeah, safely through to Q3. Let's just start that now. Sitting here in the garage, looking at the other drivers' times, but we are gonna go out now on our lap, skipping forward to the start of it. You can see here 30 seconds left, so this will be our only lap in Q3, as we also only had one set of tires left. Immediately getting in a warning because we exceeded the track limit, so I won't do that anymore on this lap, hopefully, because then we're gonna get a penalty, and it will undo all of our hard work to get into this situation in the first place. As you can see in the top, the fastest lap switching all of the time. Now Charles Leclerc at 16.4. Maybe gonna be beaten again. I'm just gonna send it. You can see in the left side, 2 tenths up on Perez, who is in 6th place. So this seems like an extremely good lap. Of course, in the first 2 races we have been in Q3, but not that high up. So let's see if this is gonna break that curse of not getting high up. on the start-finish date once again now. What is this lap gonna be? Oh, the steering wheel again, P2! What is happening? These upgrades we got must have made this car so much better to drive. It's insane. It didn't feel like the best qualifying lap. Still a tenth behind Leclerc, as Tsunoda couldn't really bring it together once again. Kind of sad now, second behind. Before he was pretty much at the same time, so he was unlucky, I think. But let's go through to the race weekend now.
This circuit missed a few years off the F1 calendar, and we missed Albert Park. So welcome back, and it's great to be back in Melbourne. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. And joining me in the commentary box today with the best view on what is about to unfold and some strong views on the action we're about to see, Naomi Schiff. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
Well, they're certainly in a great position. It's always great to just come off of a win. The momentum's there, the team are working well together, and so is the car. So what they've got to do is just keep building on that. Don't change a winning formula. Keep it simple and keep doing what you're doing.
As we sit on the grid now, way too high up in the grid compared to what we are used to. Of course, Ricciardo has raced for Red Bull before, so he has seen it before. But not in recent years. So this is really nice to see. But we're gonna join the formation lap now.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Every single driver actually on the medium tire, interestingly enough. But it's gonna be 5 red lights, and away we go. We really want the first place here, so let's just use some ERS and get alongside Leclerc into the first corner. Braking late and going very narrow, but he's gonna actually stay on the side of us. But we're gonna use a lot of ERS trying to stay alongside him. Gonna brake late and squeeze him here, seeing if we can still be there. He is still in front, and he eventually closes off. So unfortunately we can't keep the first position, but we're just gonna have to try and stay with Leclerc here. Of course, he is in a Ferrari, so it's always optimistic to try to stay with them. But in Formula 1, anything can happen. So let's just see here as you go onto the long straight. Still 60% of ERS. What can we do now? As we are only 1.5 tenths behind Leclerc and 6 tenths clear of Norris behind. Can we look for an inside on this fast section? No. Going into 6th gear. Trying to stick with him here on the exit. I know there's a hard braking zone up here. So using some ERS, going on the outside. Can we do it? Braking late. Was it late? Is it late enough? As we're gonna actually squeeze him, and we're gonna get it. Now that we are ahead, can we stay ahead? As the Ferrari and the McLaren behind are really fast. We cut ahead, and he's actually trying to go for the move, but we get it covered off into turn 1. And we are actually gonna have to see how this ERS game plays out, as we don't have infinite amounts to defend with. We are blocking Leclerc here on the second opportunity he has, going into this long straight, but I don't want to use my ERS. He's gonna go for the inside, and Norris is actually also gonna go for the outside here. Getting a tap there, but I don't think there was really anything to do there. We were gonna touch either way. They both get DRS because they hit the detection zone behind me, so I am left without DRS here. And I'm just gonna try to stick with these guys, hoping they will fight. Of course, 4 DRS zones on this track, so opportunity to stick with the guys ahead are pretty big here. And Norris tries to go for the outside, but he gets blocked, so he cannot do that. And Sainz is behind me, and we are just gonna try to stay ahead of him and try to stay with the guys ahead. Clipping forward now, as Sainz has a look on the inside on the first corner. He has sets the fastest lap, and there's not really anything to do, but the AI there are just too cautious, so we actually get the position back on the Ferrari, and he won't go for a move, so we are safe for another corner. nearly losing out to the second, to Leclerc. Of course, I pretty much had seen this coming because they are Ferraris, of course. As we get a new objective, overtake Leclerc, which is really optimistic. Of course, we had a good qualifying, so maybe our engineer Mark thinks that we can replicate that, but overtaking Leclerc is a really big target to set. But of course, we are trying to do it when the team asks us to. As Norris goes through the fast corners and actually gets it, we're gonna tap Leclerc because he's now in second. Can we get past? And we actually have the overspeed to do now that he didn't have DRS. So we're back into second place and within the DRS of Norris. As you could see his light blinking, meaning that he's low on ERS as well. So we know that we are in a good position and in a good position with our ERS as well. As we can see with a lot of tank slappers and oversteer moments, that the car is still quite a handful to drive, as Norris is the fastest lap in the lead, trying to get out of DRS as Leclerc goes on the inside, but we have it covered. Of course, it's going to be tough for Norris to get out of the DRS when there are 4 zones on this track, so pretty much every time you take a turn, you're going to go on a DRS zone, which is really tough to break out of if you're in front. Cutting a bit forward now, he actually manages to get out of the second. But we have Leclerc going for the inside now, and there's really nothing we can do. We are gonna have to concede the position no matter what we wanted, but we can see that he has used a lot of ERS. The light behind is blinking, so maybe we can get him back now, as we actually have DRS. So, staying behind Leclerc here, but we're not gonna go for the move because we're gonna stay patient. And Leclerc has a lot of pace, so he can probably get behind Norris once again into the DRS zones. But Sainz now behind, going for the inside just like Leclerc did with the overspeed, and his light is also blinking, so he's also using a lot of ERS. And I'm just gonna pretty much be falling like a rock in this race. I don't have the pace to follow these guys, so yeah, just trying to follow something that is just too fast for me to follow. As we see a lockup up ahead, so we're actually gonna get close once again within the DRS zone, and we are just making a big train here, and I do think that this is because of the 4 DRS zones not really splitting the racing apart, which could make for some good opportunities for me, as now Perez gets up behind us going on the inside, but we know the AI are just gonna be cautious, so we can actually just cover it off, and he's gonna lose some time there. We're still in the DRS of Sainz, cutting forward now, and now we're getting closer to Norris again, the group up ahead, P1 to P3. As you can actually see, our tires are actually starting to wear quite a bit, and we are 9 laps through in the race. Of course, we're going to the harder compound when we are stopping. So already on 50%, I think our pit window is gonna be pretty soon, as we see Sainz going into the pits, and now we're in Prix 3 again, as Perez has another look, but it's gonna be the same story. Once again, we're just gonna cover him off and trying to stay within the DRS here of Norris still. Cutting forward now, and we are at lap 10. Perez still right behind us, and we've fallen out of the DRS to the guys ahead. It looks like we can survive the attack from Perez for this time, but can Leclerc survive as they go side by side once again? I think maybe a bit of contact. Leclerc, you can see his light blinking once again, so he must have used some ERS. But yeah, they keep battling so much up there that we can actually get back into the DRS. Which is really nice, conserving my tires and conserving my ERS, which always helps. We are already over a second down on our PB, so the tires are getting a lot worse, but we can see that they are for the other people as well, as we are still following them. Now Verstappen getting up close, and unlike Perez, he's actually just gonna send it on the outside, getting the job done, first time of asking, and maybe that is the difference between Verstappen and Perez. As Perez has done so many attempts, but it's just easy to close off. But as soon as Verstappen does anything, he just gets past, which is just completely different mindsets. Clipping forward now once again. We're just gonna stay behind Verstappen as we actually lock up, going wide, and Perez is gonna have a look now, and he actually does make the move after 5 times of asking or something. So yeah. It craved a mistake before he could actually do it. He used a lot of ERS as well. Now we have 75%. Our tires are getting really bad now. But let's see if we can stay with Perez, as Piastri is also getting close to us now. Going through the first corner. Let's see if we can set something up for the next one. We have the DRS and Perez doesn't, so let's see the inside, and we fake it. Trying to go for the outside, but he has it covered. Now Piastri trying to go on the outside, but we have it covered. Still some oversteering moments as we go over the curbs, skipping forward a little bit. Piastri is getting really close now for this long straight, and I'm afraid there's nothing to do really. And he's gonna take the inside like so many others. And we're just gonna have to stay behind now as his ERS is also low. So for this race, AI drivers really using a lot of ERS to get past, which makes sense because it's gonna be a lot of DRS trains, and if you are all gonna be equal with the DRS, you have to use ERS to get past. But yeah, still some oversteer here. I think our pit window is next lap, going through the last couple of corners now, and the car just completely goes from underneath me, and I cannot do anything. Luckily a safety car, as Tsunoda just gets barely past us, as we are really close to hitting him, but we're just gonna go directly into the pits now without telling anything to the team, and we managed to get well below the speed limit. Can we get an optimal turn in? And yes, we do get an optimal turn in. And I can see on the map it doesn't really matter anyways because everyone is pitting, so we are not gonna end up losing any places at all, even though we are getting held for an extra amount of time. We join on the safety car now. As you can see, we ended up in P8, and Tsunoda actually benefiting and going up to P6 in front of Perez, so really good for the RB team. Not really that good for me, I was further up before, but now Tsunoda has got up as well. As we're getting back into the race now, we could see that Bottas is actually retiring from the race, as we are right behind Perez now, and we are ready to start behind this safety car now. Everyone is up here. I don't think a single car got lapped, but we do have 2 DNFs now. Let's see if we can stick with the other guys. Alonso behind shouldn't be able to overtake us, and just hoping to get past Perez and stay with Tsunoda. But we actually mess up as they go way too early, and we cannot keep up, going way too late on the throttle. So Perez actually gets away along with all the other drivers. Can we get it back here now on the first lap after the safety car restart? I'm just gonna not use too much ERS because I know they're gonna bunch up here, so just saving that ERS instead of using it in unnecessary situations. Now skipping ahead a little bit as we get a new objective, overtakes Tsunoda. So the team thinking that I deserve to get a better position than Tsunoda. He's of course, there's a car between us, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty tricky, maybe because I'm just more of a first driver for that team. But now Perez overtook, and this is the perfect opportunity to overtake Tsunoda for the objective, as we actually touch him going on the grass, braking late, locking up, but we actually managed to get past, and we get a warning. Now we're just gonna have to try to get past Perez and get Tsunoda with us for the maximum amount of team points. This could be really massive points for the team, as we only have 2 points now in the championship. Going a lap further into the race, now we are getting close to Perez, and we're just gonna try to make the move as soon as possible, nearly touching there, and going alongside on the outside here, braking late. Can we do it? Staying on the outside in this heavy braking zone, and yes, it looks like we can do it, and yes, the arrow getting wide, confirming that he is behind us now. Now sitting after Piastri, it's gonna be tough now that they have a DRS train up there, but let's see if we can catch up. First of all, we need to get out of the DRS from Perez, and that is going to be really tough, as he actually goes on the inside once again. But can we do the old classic? And yes, we just block him off there, and now he's backed off into Tsunoda, skipping forward even more now. And Tsunoda didn't get past, as we get a lot of oversteer. 9 laps now left, and we really hope for Tsunoda to soon get past Perez for the most amount of team points. Skipping ahead even further, now it's lap 22. And yeah, Russell and the group ahead just getting further ahead, and it's getting more and more unlikely to touch them. But trying just to settle in now here, and we need to get this P6 and P7. It's really, really important. So that is what we're gonna fight for the next couple of laps until the end of the race. Going on to the main straight here, we're gonna start lap 23 as Perez comes up behind once again. Going on the inside, but he has way too much overspeed now, so we cannot do anything about it. But I think we do have the pace. Trying to get the switchback, it's not gonna be enough. But we should be able to stick with him as he gets DRS again because of the weirdly placed detection zone. So actually when you just get in the detection zone, 1 second behind the driver in front, you're gonna get 2 times DRS in a row, which really helps for overtaking and then getting further ahead. But we actually stick with Perez here, and now we're gonna get to another DRS zone, the long straight here. We don't really have that much DRS, but we're just gonna try to stick with him here, as Tsunoda is also only 3 tenths behind us, so he's also sticking with us. We are now on lap 23, only 6 laps left. Now, going into the fast chicane left and right, we're sticking right on the gearbox of Perez. Left or right, we're gonna go left on the outside again because he actually blocked really nicely the right side. Trying to brake late, but he actually nails it more. Trying to get the switchback, and it's tricky, but we actually manage it. And we get him squeezed out. We nearly go on the gravel, but we end up in front of Perez. Gonna go onto the start-finish straight once again. Can Perez produce the same overtake as he did last lap? I'm just gonna take my middle here off the road, and he's gonna take the outside and just drive straight by with all of the overspeed. But it's not that big of a worry because last time I managed it pretty good. Now behind Perez, but still pretty close as we get a new objective. Charge ERS to 76%, which shouldn't be that hard because if I'm just into DRS, I can conserve ERS and conserve tires. And that should make it possible to get up to 76% in this race, as this objective actually goes on to the last lap. But let's see here. On the back straight, can I get past Perez or will I stay behind? Let's see. Going on the inside actually, braking late, and it's gonna be a really late move and a really daring move. But we actually put it off, blocking Perez now, and Tsunoda actually gets past, so it's really perfect. Here on the exit, Tsunoda was alongside, so I just thought, you know what, actually let's get him in front, and I'm just gonna control the pace of Perez down here, as well as completing my objective of getting to 76% of ERS. So not using any ERS, as you can see, but of course I have the DRS, so I can actually defend as he goes on the inside, but I can just defend like I've done so many times, still within the DRS of Tsunoda. Actually getting an exceeding track limits warning as we get close to Tsunoda on this lap, but I'm just not gonna overtake because it wouldn't be worth it. Going on the grass and locking up, really messing things up as Perez goes on the side here, but he can't get past as I block it off. We actually complete the goal of 76% ERS, so now, from now on, I will begin to use the ERS again. Getting a big wobble here on the exit, and you can see that quickly pressing the ERS, but we're skipping ahead even further. Still within the DRS of Tsunoda, but we cannot pull away from Perez, sadly. Yeah, let's skip ahead even further now, as we're still ahead of Perez, but now we are over a second behind Tsunoda. But we're actually gonna get the DRS because we just about managed to get within the second. So when we were at the detection zone, we were just within a second, and that's maybe will help us in this race because now Perez cannot get an attack in, and we can stay with Tsunoda. Actually, I would like to get past Tsunoda because I feel like, of course, I would like the most amount of points, and I feel like I deserved it. But if it's gonna cost us the race, I won't risk it. Skipping ahead even further, this is the last lap, still behind Tsunoda, and Perez is behind us, so this looks good. And I'm just gonna stay in the left side of the track here as Perez goes on the right side and Tsunoda boxes him in, so it's actually gonna be a piece of teamwork here to make Perez just not gonna overtake, and we get a big snap on the exit, and Tsunoda doesn't have any ERS, so we're just gonna take the outside here, and it's gonna be a straightforward pass actually, and now we only have a couple of corners left. So it's gonna be P6 and P7 if this can hold home. We just managed to make the overtake at the last available time and managed to make it so that Perez cannot make that overtake. And we're gonna go through the last corner now, going to the straight, and now we cannot be touched. This is an insane result for the team. I am so happy, wiggling over the line.
Cheers guys. Nice to get some points again.
And it's Monaco go for Charles Leclerc as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
Well, that's 2 race wins in a row for them. I think they'll be really happy with that. I mean, 1 race win is great, but to have 2, you know that you've got it. You're a little bit more comfortable in your skin. This is a great sign of maybe what's to come next.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
As we see Leclerc winning the race, but I'm more interested in all the points that we gathered for the team. A 6th and a 7th place finish for the VCARB races today. What a result. And maybe it's because of all those upgrades, but the car really was fast around here, as we got an insane qualifying and managed to transfer it through to the race. And we can see the results here. Yeah, 6th and 7th. And of course I'm gonna have a red arrow, but it was an insane quali. But I don't think we can be disappointed with this result. The best result of the season for the team and for the individual drivers of the team. As I'm going to go into the standings now, we can see Leclerc further extending his gap at the top of the driver standings, ahead of Verstappen, and we slot in at a 10th place in the championship, along with Tsunoda in 11th. And we actually overtake Aston Martin in the constructors, which is absolutely insane. So now it's not even Alpine anymore, it's gonna be Aston Martin. But that's gonna be it for this episode. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, as it would still really help me. And as well, if you didn't see the previous episodes, go down the description and check the playlist out. Otherwise, see you next time.